Hey everyone, welcome back to another recap podcast from SNXweave, where we give quick weekly recaps of news and important updates from the previous week from the Spartan Council, core contributors, and Ambassador Council. Let's get started. Multi-collateral margin is expected to go live this week. The first deployment will be to Arbitrum with 0 caps. Once integrators are ready, the caps will be raised. And once it's working with the front ends on Arbitrum, it can be pushed to base as well. For L1 perps, the audit is 95% complete and should be released to testnet soon, with a mainnet release following shortly after. Next, in preparation for the launch of Synthetix perps on Arbitrum, Synthetix released an explainer article last week on the new stablecoin on Arbitrum, USDX. This is designed to serve as the native stablecoin for users on Arbitrum backed by crypto assets. For LPs, USDX can be borrowed against collateral that is deposited into Synthetix. LPs can then gain additional liquidity while earning LP rewards from trading fees and incentives. For traders, USDX will be the first collateral type supported to use for perps trading on Arbitrum. USDX is supported by collateral backing and underwriting Synthetix perps. Users who generate USDX can back it with approved collateral types like USDC, USDE, ARB, ETH, and others. This collateral basket ensures the stability and value of USDX, maintaining its peg. The same collateral supports Synthetix perps by providing the necessary liquidity for the derivatives market. In short, you can deposit collateral on the V3 liquidity app, borrow USDX against your collateral at 0% rates, and use USDX to trade on Synthetix perps once it's launched on Arbitrum. Alternatively, you can also deposit your USDX in liquidity pools on Curve and Ramses to earn additional incentives and 30x sats with Athena. Check out our blog for a link to the article for more information and to read about generating USDX, 0% interest borrows, and providing liquidity with USDX. Next up, there were a few SIP presentations last week, so let's review them. The first was SIP 399, to add a dynamic UX fee to support gasless transactions. Presented by Bert, this SIP proposes adding a flexible additive integrator fee to all perps instances. This fee would be assessed to margin accounts and would allow users to pay their gas fees without having to maintain an ETH balance in their wallet. The goal here is to improve the user experience, which should in turn make the onboarding process from centralized exchanges easier. During the presentation, someone in the chat brought up the fact that gas is only about $1,000 a month, and Millie suggested approaching the Treasury Council to see if they can subsidize gas costs if Quenta were to offer gasless trading, rather than going through a complex SIP implementation. At the moment, there have been some minor UX issues on Base in one-click trading because they require users to have an ETH balance. Caleb also mentioned that once multi-collateral margin is launched, there will be restrictions on margin withdrawal that would lock withdrawal as soon as this fee is applied. The next presentation was SIP 400 to fix an underflow error when off-chain price timestamps are bigger than current block timestamps. This SIP was proposed by NoiseKit as a bug fix in the staleness circuit breaker node. The bug currently results in an underflow error when off-chain price update timestamps exceed current block timestamps. Caleb presented the proposal for NoiseKit, explaining that the issue is highlighted on Arbitrum due to the speed of the blockchain. The last presentation was SIP 401 for the Risk Council formation. Presented by ML Sudo, this SIP marks the third proposal for the formation of a Risk Council to replace the PDAO. The primary difference in this proposal is the outsourcing of the parameter setting and risk management to a third party. ML and Cav met with several risk management providers at ETHCC to discuss potential solutions. The Risk Council would still be responsible for overseeing code integrity and queuing and voting on protocol upgrades. This council would also be hand-selected by the Spartan Council, rather than through a token holder vote, and the Spartan Council would maintain the ability to unilaterally replace the Risk Council at any time. The SIP is still a work in progress, and this presentation was scheduled primarily to receive community and Spartan Council feedback. There are some specifics that still need to be ironed out for this SIP. The first is implementation details, including step-by-step execution details from SIP approval to deployment. There would need to be some procedural guidance on how this council would serve its collaborative function with the Spartan Council. The next item was the selection process, including how the counselors would be selected by the Spartan Council, if there would be a vote among Spartan Council members, and if so, how often does this happen, and what are the tiebreakers? And lastly, budget details, which would require a decision on how many risk counselors there should be and how much they will be paid. Lastly, there was some discussion about renaming this body under this iteration of the Risk Council, since all of the risk management functions would be outsourced and it would not be a community elected entity, which makes the council title inappropriate. And that's it for today's updates. Be sure to check out our weekly recap blog post, share this podcast link, and let us know what you think and what you'd like to hear more about from SNXweave. Thanks for listening.